So it's probably one of the toughest choices I had to make, but I listened to you guys. I went ahead and selected Jabari Parker over Andrew Wiggins with the number 3 overall pick in the NBA draft. But then it was time for even a tougher choice, and that's what I'm going to do with the number 4 overall pick in the draft. And I know a lot of you guys wanted me to take Andrew Wiggins so I could pair him up with Jabari Parker, but it didn't really make sense because I want to win this year, and I know both players are outstanding and are going to be excellent in a few years, but I need some veteran leadership on this team. And one of the first players that came to mind when trading the number 4 overall pick was Al Jefferson from the Charlotte Bobcats. But the problem was, it seemed like no matter what I offered for him, the Charlotte Bobcats would not budge. They did not want to take any of my offers. I offered them Larry Sanders straight up. They didn't take it. I offered them Larry Sanders and the number 4 overall pick, and they didn't take that either. And then finally, when I offered them Larry Sanders and OJ Mayo for Al Jefferson and Lance Stevenson, it got to the point where the general manager told me he didn't want to talk to me anymore. So it looks like Al Jefferson is out of the equation. I kept looking around the league, and I noticed the Nets were pretty persistent in offering Joe Johnson. They actually made quite a few good offers, but I listened to you guys. You guys said he was too slow, his shot release was too slow, and you wanted me to keep OJ Mayo. So I figured I'd show you those trades, but I did go ahead and pass on all of them. Another point guard we talked about in the last episode was Ty Lawson, but once again, like Al Jefferson, it seemed like the Denver Nuggets wanted way too much in return, so I had to go ahead and pass on Ty Lawson also. So that came down to one player, a player I talked about, one of my favorite players, and also it seemed like a lot of you guys wanted me to trade for him also, and that's the 2014 Most Improved Player, Goran Dragic from the Phoenix Suns. I went ahead, I offered Larry Sanders straight up, and you can see Larry Sanders is actually worth more than Goran Dragic when it comes to trade value, but they would not accept the deal. They wanted the number 4 overall pick, and I didn't want to give them my second round pick, so I went ahead and offered them a player, and who would have thought they accepted Chris Middleton. So Goran Dragic is now the point guard for the Seattle SuperSonics, but we did have to give up a pretty heavy price. We gave up that number 4 overall pick, but they ended up selecting Joel Embiid, so I guess that makes sense on why they did not want Larry Sanders, because they wanted Joel Embiid from Kansas. So even though we did make one big trade, I was not done yet. Even though we didn't trade for a superstar, I wanted to pick up some role players and some future draft picks, so this was a tough decision, but I decided to go ahead and move Carlos Delfino and John Henson for Marco Bellinelli in the 2015 Spurs first round pick. Now obviously that won't be a lottery pick, it'll probably be a late first round pick, but we can use it to trade for some veteran assets or for some role players when the trade deadline comes around during the regular season. Also in the second round, I noticed there wasn't a lot of prospects available. Usually in 2K drafts, a player will fall. You can get a decent player in the second round, but the only player that was worth drafting was James Young. But when we got Parker, when we got the Greek Freak, the last thing we need is another small forward. So I gave Danny Ainge a call. He actually offered this to us. We got their first round pick, and we also got their second round pick for next year, and they actually went ahead and drafted James Young like they did in real life. So now it's time to start to finish up the offseason, and I wanted to get Jabari Parker. I want to get his outside shooting even better, so I sent him to the perimeter shooting camp. His shot median went up to an 80, his three-point shot went to a 73, and his shot off the dribble went to a 78. But I also listened to you guys once again, and I went ahead and sent Brandon Knight to untapped potential. Apparently this makes him an excellent player. I'm just hoping he's alright coming off the bench. He's going to be a 6th man. He's going to be playing 25 plus minutes a game. But you guys know how 2K works. A lot of times if the players aren't starting, they get upset, their moral goes down, their ratings go down, and they want to demand a trade. So we needed 2 more players to finish up the roster, and I went after yet another player that you guys were asking for, and that's Rashard Lewis. A lot of you guys remember back in the day, the SuperSonics, they were pretty good. They had Ray Allen, they had Rashard Lewis, they made it to the Western Conference Finals, so we're going to bring him back. Maybe he'll retire, finish his career here. And we also went after one of my personal favorite players, and that's Aaron Craft. He's probably not going to play, but he's the perfect 12th man. So now, once the offseason was coming to a close, I decided to open up talks with the Bobcats again, and look what happened. That first round pick that the Boston Celtics gave us was enough for us to get Al Jefferson. So Larry Sanders and the 2015 Boston Celtics first round draft pick for Big Al Jefferson. I couldn't be more excited, and as you can see, the fans love your recent acquisition of Al Jefferson, and we went ahead, we named him the team captain. But we weren't done just yet. We needed one more role player. We needed a backup center. So I went ahead and grabbed Mason Plumlee. He played excellent during the regular season. In real life, I thought they should have played him more in the playoffs. We all remember he had that game-winning block or a foul, whatever you want to say, on LeBron James. So they went ahead, they offered us Mason Plumlee and their current future first-round pick, which could be a lottery pick for our 2016 first-round pick. So this is what the team is looking like. Goran Dragic at point guard, OJ Mayo at shooting guard, Jabari Parker starting at the 3. We got Ilyasova, a stretch 4, great three-point shooter at the power forward. Big Al Jefferson, the leader of the team, at center. And then we got Brandon Knight as the 6th man. But then we also get the Greek Freak as a role player as the 7th man. Both of them are going to be coming off the bench, bringing a ton of energy. We're going to be looking to score a ton of points. And then we got Nate Walters, another player that can really light up the scoreboard. And then we got Mason Plumlee, Bellinelli, Rashard Lewis, Malcolm Thomas, and Aaron Craft finishing up the roster, finishing up this rotation. And I feel like we're pretty deep. We probably do need to make a couple more moves, but we'll make those closer towards the trade deadline. But in the next video, it's going to be the home opener. We're going to be taking on the Portland Trailblazers, and I couldn't be more excited. I hope you guys are excited. Tell me what you think. Is there any more players you want me to go after? Let me know what you think of the trades. And also, we got to look out for the Utah Jazz because somehow they got Gordon Hayward, Andrew Wiggins, Carmelo Anthony, Trey Burke, and Andrew Bynum in their starting lineup. So it should be exciting. There's going to be a ton of scoring going on, a ton of great games, and also a ton of great videos coming out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm TD Presents. Peace.